Yo, what up guys, your boy Williams Fitness back again with another video. And today we're going to talk about, are bodybuilders getting too big? Yeah, seriously, are bodybuilders getting too big? Now, recently there's been reports on Nick Walker weighing in at over 300 pounds. We've got people like Mikhail Krizo, who is an IFBB elite pro. So he's not in the same sort of kettle of fish as the IFBB pros that would do like the Mr. Olympias, the Arnold Classics. It's a completely different league. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the conversation that's been brought up with regards to one athlete in particular, but I want to broaden this out. Are bodybuilders getting too big? Is the 300 plus mass monsters on stage coming back to the Mr. Olympia? We've had this in the past. There have been reports in the 90s that even Dorian Yates at one stage competed at over 300 pounds. Whether that's true or not is by the by. The last time I heard about this was Jerry Ward actually had some footage, because I believe he was at the show or knew somebody at the show in the 90s, and apparently, Dorian Yates stepped on stage 300 pounds plus. Now we have athletes like Nick Walker, who is just looking insane for the amount of mass that this guy has got on his structure, on his frame, and he's only in his 20s. Now this is the question I pose to you. Is this going to be a longevity thing for Nick? Because obviously we've seen this happen before in the past. I'm not going to drop any names. We've had guys come through in their 20s, even up to late 20s. They've piled and piled all this muscle on in such a short space of time. There's no muscle maturity there because it was sort of dumped on so quick. And that's not to take away from the workload that they've put in. But aesthetically, where are we going to draw the line and say, no, that's not okay? I'd actually like to see, instead of them constantly, consistently competing over size, I'd actually quite like to see them get the conditioning right for once, for one competition. Is that too much to ask? Am I creating controversy in the industry? No, that's what their job is. You need to put the size on. There's such a competitiveness at the minute to who's the biggest, because that's what we crave. That's what we want to see. Be the biggest, but put the work in for the conditioning. Some of them have got prep coaches. If your prep coach, if you've done everything your prep coach has asked for, should prep coaches be sacking athletes and go, no, I can't work with you. You didn't do what I asked. And vice versa. Should you be sacking your prep coach because you didn't come in and you did everything they asked of you? I think in all honesty, you give a prep coach 2 shows. The first show, trial and error. Very much so trial and error. Or if you're not competing for a year, do a trial run. Do a trial run. Do a 6 weeks out. Whether it's getting ready for summer, you've got some photo shoots coming up. Do a trial run with your coach. Get that conditioning right. Let's see if you two can work together. If you've put the work in and you didn't place higher than you think you should, sack them. Sack them. If you're still holding water retention, you're doing everything your prep coach asked for you, get rid of them. You have no loyalty to these people. And vice versa, you have no loyalty to your athlete if they are not doing what you've asked of them. So I understand the size game is a major factor, that there's a reason why these younger guys are trying to put more muscle on quicker. One, it's to get to the big stages quicker, to get earning the big money, not just from the wins and the shows, from the supplements and the brand deals and everything that comes with that. It's also, people are constantly and consistently raising this bar to be the biggest. I want to see a big guy fully conditioned. Some of these guys have no excuses anymore. They are veterans in the game. If you are not bringing your conditioning on the day, don't start moaning at social media, oh, I did my best. No, because you've done better before. Don't blame your coach if you did everything asked of you. If you don't have a coach and you brought it last year and you didn't brought it this year, that's just not good enough. So that's my rant. We need to see something on stage that we actually like to see. Obviously, there's the freak factor for that men's open, which draws the crowd in because it's unobtainable for 99.9% of the world. That's what we tune in for. But at what point are the judges going to say, no, that's too much? We've seen this in the past. Big Ramy came in too big. Rolly Winkler came in too big. Bulk doesn't necessarily equal a win. The heavier you are doesn't necessarily equal a win. That's why these guys diet down. They put the size on, they diet it down, they ensure they have the V-taper, they ensure they have striations, they ensure that the water retention under the skin is gone. That's what we want to see. It's not just the size, it's the whole package. We want to see those 7 mandatory poses all on point. So I ask you, do you think, or would you prefer to see on stage an absolute mass monster like Nick Walker continuously putting size on but not aesthetically bringing it? Because that's my biggest concern for Nick. At the minute, he's still keeping that V-taper, he's still keeping that midsection short, but that can blow out at any point. He's already saying that he's not had any rest days. He feels guilty when he doesn't have a rest day. But you've got to take into consideration things like your central nervous system, things like your immune system. Everything needs a rest, everything needs a break. If you're constantly creating a demand for your muscles to be absorbing all the nutrients and minerals, and that constant strain on the central nervous system, on the immune system, on the lymphatic system, there's so many systems going on. You need a break. You need to be having a break. Most pro bodybuilders will be having at least a day off, or they'll do something what I'd like to call when I'm training like heavy, I'll have like an active rest day. So I'll go maybe hit just one muscle group, do 10-15 minutes of cardio, and then I've not gone all in. It's not balls to the wall. I'm not being spotted for anything. I'm taking my time, and it's what I'd like to call an active rest day. So but I put it to you guys, what would you prefer to see on stage? For me, I don't want to see Nick Walker consistently putting more and more size on. He's got, lower back, I think needed a little bit more work in the last show, as well as the glutes. Tiny bit of hamstring work just to bring out the striations and stuff, but that was more down to a conditioning, not so much putting the size on. Don't want to see Nick getting too big. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I don't want to see anybody get too big. Obviously, these guys have always got to bear in mind what they're going to be judged on. They're not going to get more money for being bigger. They're going to get more money to win. So there's a fine line. Do we need an upper weight category where it tops, where we say, no, that's heavy enough? Do we need to do what the 212 category does, where it's like, okay, if you are 5'4", it's 170 pounds or whatever it is? I genuinely think size doesn't necessarily equal a win. We've got to start considering the bigger picture, the full package, and that's what I want to see on a stage. I want to see the full package. I want to see, Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates. They bring the size, they bring the 3D elements, they bring the muscle maturity, they bring the conditioning all on one day, and we know that's hard for them to time, but that's part of the job. On that note, guys, I want to see your comments below. I want to have a conversation with you. I reply to every comment on every video. Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. Who do you want to see put more size on? Who do you want to see downsize a little bit? Is there anyone that needs to downsize? Do you think I'm full of shit? Do you think that there shouldn't be an upper weight limit? And I know you're going to say, yeah, but what if they're 7 foot tall? Then God bless them. God bless them. That's all I can say. On that note, guys, I've been me. You've been you. Again, peace.